Hi, my name is Matt Kendricks. I'm the project lead for dSIPRouter. So one of the things I've been focusing on is really how to make the experience better for our end users. I think that we did a pretty good job in making things really easy to use, but I think we can make things better. One of the things that we've been focused on a lot is really making the concept of number management better. For those who have been using dSIPRouter, we have the whole concept of an inbound routing, which maps a DID to a user agent or to a PBX. But I think we can do better because there's still a lot of things you need to do in order to get that set up properly. Number one, you have to go over to your carrier and purchase some phone numbers, and then you need to take those phone numbers and you need to point them somewhere. One easy way of doing that is you can just take your numbers and point it to your dSIPRouter instance. And then from there, you would go into dSIPRouter and then map those um, to a certain endpoint or to a domain if you're using Fusion PBX pass through domain routing. But there's still work that needs to happen, if especially if you have multiple carriers, right? So if you have two or more carriers, you have to go in and configure this for each one of the carriers and do a lot of work. One of the things that we've ran into is that we sometimes you just want to actually, use some type of API to figure out all the numbers that you have, or to be able to purchase a number. So being able to give a user a list of all the numbers that's available to purchase from multiple carriers, and be able to display that to them, and then have them pick a particular number they want to actually buy. And that, right now people are, if they're, right now they're probably, you know, leveraging the API for each one of their carriers, going to get the available phone numbers, and then, sending that back to a client somewhere. So we wanted to be able to take that piece, really, you know, away from people having to worry about that. So so right now, we're designing this feature called numbers management or DID management, and when doing that, I forgot that we actually have an integration with one particular carrier for DIDs, which is Flowroute. So I'll show that in a little bit. But let's jump into what we're proposing here to have out later this year, assuming that this meets a lot of our customers' um, interest and needs. So what what we're talking about here is central DID management, and in this central DID management, we wanted to add something called number management. And what you see here on the screen is basically all the different core components. We have decent router, we have here, but number management will be new. And really, the concept of number management is that it will basically have plugins that talks to a number of carriers. And these plugins will basically be able to query these carriers and grab the available phone numbers. Also be able to purchase a phone number if that's available in the upstream carrier's platform. So we just want to have a way of being able to, like, in one central way inside of an organization, be able to like manage your numbers. So you'll have one API that you will use, which would be the numbers API part of dSIPRouter. So numbers available would actually tell you, allows you to search across all the carriers and figure out what numbers are available. There'll be some parameters on that. Like you'll be able to like scope it down to the prefix, if you want to, or the prefix of the phone number. Then you also want to be able to purchase. So you'll be able to, once you find a particular number with the numbers available, you'll be able to use the numbers. You'll put the phone number here, and then you'll purchase that phone number from that particular carrier. And then also you're going to have the ability to set E911 and also to set the C name as well. So what you're seeing here is on the picture here is you have a plugin and it goes each one of these carriers. And it's going to use the native API that's available for each one of those carriers. So we're taking on the responsibility of actually understanding the API for certain carriers, um, so you don't have to do all that. So we will manage it. It'll be part of the release process that we have inside of dSIP. So we'll take on all the risk and complexity of actually figuring out how to actually figure out what API, what phone numbers are available. So if we take an example of this, this would be like, Flowroute right now is going to be the first one that we actually release, and that's for historic reasons. We've been a Flowroute customer for over 10 plus years. Secondly, that we wanted to be able to do this ourselves, so we're scratching our own itch, right? We wanted to be able to have one API that allows us to look at what all the numbers that are available, or the ones that we've already purchased, purchase a new number, being able to set E911, set the C name, all these things that we wanted to do programmatically and do it across multiple carriers with one standard API is what we're doing here. So I'm super excited. So again, like I said, when I was like researching this and trying to figure out the best way of doing this, I realized that we actually have part of this integration kind of already done. So if I go to inbound routes and I click add here, now that we have the Flowroute API configured and set up properly, we'll be able to see phone numbers that are on the account, on the Flowroute account in particular, and you can actually add this number to dSIPRouter and actually point it to a free PBX server if you want. So this whole thing will make life, I think, a lot easier, and being able to have to manage and copy and paste phone numbers, and especially in situations where you may want this, different phone numbers to go off to different backend system or different endpoint groups. This is one of the ways that you would do it, and not have to manage all the different phone numbers for each one of the carriers independently. So yeah, I thought this would be good. I want your feedback. I want you to tell us what you think about it. We're planning to add this to the product. Right now, if you want to just check out the Flowroute integration by itself, just DM me and I can get you access to that. So that's not a problem. So all right, that was it. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.